boys and girls, and welcome to our next week of math lessons. This week we're going to start talking about time and how to use analog clocks. Now, to start off this brand new unit, we have to talk about 3 units of time. There are seconds, minutes, and hours that we can measure the length of time in. Now, each of them are a different length, and I have some ways that we can experience how long those are and match up some activities that are around that length of time. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I have an hourglass here. When I flip this over, it takes 1 whole hour for all the sand to go into the other container. So I'm going to start it at the beginning because an hour is pretty long, and we can check in and see how far it is by the end of our lesson. So let's flip this here and we'll start that hour. So starting from now, it's counting how long an hour is. While that's going, let's start up here at the top with a second. A second is the smallest unit of time that we're going to talk about, and it is so quick. A second is as long as it takes for someone to hiccup, or even how long it takes for someone to do 1 turnaround. It's very quick. So I have a timer up here that I'm going to set 1 second so that you can see how long that is. So let's get that timer here. Okay. So my timer is ready. I'm going to push play, and when it rings, that's how long a second is. Are you guys ready? That was so fast. Woo. That went by so quick, I barely noticed how long that was. I'm going to do it one more time for you guys, okay? Are you ready? That was so quick. Now I understand how a second is only a hiccup, or only 1 spin around. It's so quick. Now, since a second is so little, it's really hard to tell time using it. So our next unit of time that we're going to talk about is a minute. And a minute is made up of 60 seconds. So every time 60 seconds goes by, that counts as 1 minute. Now I'm going to start the timer for 1 minute. And while it's ticking here, we can talk about some activities that take about a minute long. So let's get this one started. All right, it's going. So in a minute, you could sing maybe a nursery rhyme or a song, a short song. Or in that time, maybe you can eat a muffin, something that is smaller, more like a snack. Because as our time goes around, it's a lot longer than a second, but it's still not that much time. So in a minute, I can do a lot of smaller activities. So it's still going here halfway through. When it rings, that's how long a minute is. Almost there. So close. Listen out for it. Waiting for 1 minute on our timer. And there it is. So sometimes a minute feels a little longer when we're waiting for it, but a minute is pretty quick. I can do just smaller activities in a minute. Now it is time to come down here to our hour. An hour is a big unit of time. An hour is made up of 60 minutes this time. A minute was 60 seconds, so an hour is 60 minutes. I can do a lot in that time. In that time, maybe I can eat a full meal with my family. We can sit down and have a really big dinner. Maybe there's lots of different plates and things I can eat. In that time, maybe I can also go for a swim. If I'm going to a swimming pool or to the beach, I don't want to just dunk my toe in and get back out. I want to go in the water, swim, and play. So I could go for a swim in 1 full hour. Now we had our timer for 1 second. We had our timer for 1 minute, and we were able to sit and watch that time go by. Now an hour, since it's so long, would be really boring to wait and sit here together and wait for an hour to go by. So let's check back at our hourglass here. So we turned this at the beginning of our lesson and said, when all the sand from the top fills up the bottom, there's nothing left in the top, that tells me how long an hour is. It takes 1 hour for all that sand to go. Now, in our lesson, take a look at how much sand has moved. It's not a lot. I can see just a little bit in the bottom, and there's still a lot in the top. That helps me understand and feel how long an hour is. This lesson has already been a little bit amount of time for us, and we haven't even put a dent in an hour yet. All right, so boys and girls, now that we have a better understanding of these 3 units of time, second, minute, and hour, it's now your job to sort out some activities based on the amount of time it takes. So attached to this assignment, there's a Google form that's very similar to this. It'll have a picture of an activity, maybe it's a bike ride, maybe it's turning on a light switch. And you have to click and decide, does that activity take a second, a minute, or an hour? All right, boys and girls, good luck and have fun.